All right, so we are missing people already. This is what you encounter actually during the first day. After the morning, you encounter a lot of lates, as we have so here. And so, like Pastor Derek says, we're going to use this as a teaching moment. And ask something. So, who's here? So, how come you're late? What time is it? What time is it? What time is it?
I've been here.
You been here? But we're not sitting in our seats. You went for water? No, okay. So let's use this as an example. You went for water. Did you tell anybody? You see? So you're going to have to see exam. Your mistake. Okay, exactly. But this is what I'm trying to say is, so can we have a consensus? What time was this supposed to start up again? 2:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why am basically, why are people just showing up now, 2:35? Was the food late?
Yeah.
Okay. He or she.
He or she is required to remain at the venue for the duration of the training and will ensure that the training runs smoothly and efficiently.
They communicate with.
So communicates with the HMT coordinator, volunteers, and trainer.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is the facilitator. Our facilitator's name over in Canada, her name is Sharon. Sharon Wright. You'll see a video of her tomorrow regarding some of the background works of HMT. So this is not the coordinator, but this is the facilitator. I'm going to start off and preface this with, I have ran both roles at times. And this is mainly when we're traveling. So in the beginning, when we go to Africa, I've had to run both the coordinator and coordinating the trainings over there, making sure they had everything. And when then I got there, my role shifted to facilitator. And so I was facilitating the training there too. So you may have one person that does that. I recommend you have two separate people, just to make it easier. Unless you have somebody that can do both. But for now, focus on this. Okay, so time frame is 12 weeks. 12 weeks out, 3 months. What the facilitator does, what Sharon does, is she confirms with the trainer the type of training. So she'll call Pastor Derek and say, okay, Pastor Derek, we have a training November 25th. What kind is it? Is it going to be a hybrid? Are you going to teach a 2.5 day? Are you going to teach a 3.5 day training? 9 times out of 10, what you guys will be teaching is a 3.5 day training. Okay. The second one of that is they confirm with the trainer the HMT schedule. This is very important. This gets done by 12 weeks out, because this is what the pastor uses to get his people enrolled. Because they want to know how much time they have to dedicate to the training. What time do they have to show up? What time's lunch? What time's it? Because they also have busy lives and they want to make sure they can work this into their schedule. And so me as now again, listen to what I'm saying. Me as the coordinator will get the schedule from the facilitator so that I can give that schedule to the pastor, the host organization. Does that make sense? I gotta say it one more time, careful. Me as the coordinator will get the workshop schedule from my facilitator so I can send that to the host pastor of the host organization church. Okay. Time frame 11 weeks prior to HMT is number one. You're to email, what Sharon does is email the coordinator final workshop schedule. So she's working with Pastor Derek on this to make sure it's good. Time frame 10 weeks out prior to HMT is what she starts to do is contacting the registered participants. Now, I'm going to test you while I go on. The way I teach is I'll test you during. Is how does she get registered participants? How does she know who's registered? Who does she get that from? Correct. The coordinator. Good. See, again, what I'll do is for you to retain it, I'll refer back. Okay? That's why you got to pay attention. From here, she contacts them weekly as new registrants are added. So as I, the coordinator, send her new registrants, she contacts them saying with a welcome letter. Welcome, thank you for signing up for HMT. Your life is about to change. All of that. She informs the registered participant of their accepted registration. Why do you do this? Because when people sign up and pay money, they want to make sure it's like a receipt. Did my registration get through? Because there are people that will sign up and say, you never sent me anything. Am I still involved? Like, what's going on? So this will deal with that. And then they send them an email. The email they send them is thank you. This is a template. You can just send it. You can set up as an automation, really. You can have an email account that is just designed for registered participants. And when people's email or send that email, it automatically sends them a thank you for registering, or you've been registered, or something like that. Again, work with the tools that you have. If you don't have that tool and you have somebody that just wants to copy paste, put their name in there. So for example, your name is Suzanne, right? Suzanne. So let's say Suzanne signs up. I see it. What I'll do is, thank you, Suzanne. We've received your registration, and we will send you more information regarding the details of the training 2 weeks before the training commences. That way they know, 1, we've received their information, so that's good. 2, you will receive more information, 3, on this date. So that they're not thinking, okay, it's 2 weeks out, I haven't gotten anything from them, or is training still going to happen? I've already told them prior that you're going to receive more information. The reason why I don't give them all the information right off of the bat is because I'm not trying to create an exit for them to leave. Because if I send them an email saying, oh, you're going to have homework questions and pressure points, they're up and leaving. They're not going to stick. So you get them when they have everything settled. So that's 10 weeks. And so 9 to 5 weeks prior to HMT is weekly participant registration update. So Sharon will check in with me also when I check in with her to let her know that there's updates to the registration numbers. 1 week it can be, okay, we have an increase of 5 new registrants. Here are their names, here are their emails, here are their numbers. Weekly updates. Again, transparency and communication. You okay with this? I know you're tired. Lunch can kind of do that to you. Especially my brother who came from the United States here. What's your name again, sir? Jeff. Jeff? Pastor Jeff? Yes, I can tell. I feel your pain. I feel it. I feel it. Like dozing off back there, I'm just like, wake up. All right. So, where are we now? We're at 9 to 5 weeks. One way you can do this, really making things real simple, is teach your coordinator and facilitator to use Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Sheets. Because what I'll do is, let's say Suzanne signs up, I'll put her name, email, and number, and how much she's paid in the Google Sheet, and then Sharon can easily access that to see, oh, what's new this week? That way I don't even really have to tell her. It's her responsibility then to check. Because it's a shared folder. And I can leave notes for my coordinator or my facilitator saying, oh, this person's going to pay the rest on this day. So using these tools and online systems that we have can greatly benefit you. This person also checks emails for new registration information. Sometimes they have a different account that they don't check regularly. At least this way they know they have a reminder in their phone. As a facilitator, I need to check this email account. time frame 6 weeks out, this is when the facilitator has to order books specifically for the training. If this is a level 1 training, the standard book you will use is Beyond the Four Walls by Derek Schneider. Beyond the Four Walls by Derek Schneider. HMT1 is always that book. Okay? And what they do, and I'll get into it later, but that's the one book they read. You can get this book, or your facilitator can get this book from Amazon. You can order this book from Amazon. So this is where the facilitator wants to stay in contact with the coordinator to see how many books do they have to order. If you have 20 registrants, 20 participants who are registered, and you still have, a month out, maybe you want to order 25 or 30 books just in case more people are at it. So order books. Also, that during that 6 weeks prior to HMT, they want to purchase any necessary training items. Maybe they're purchasing markers for the whiteboard, or they're purchasing paper for the chartboard. Maybe they're purchasing name tags. This is when they start to take tally of what they need. Purchasing folders. They're printing out the documents. They print out, the homework booklet. They print out the workshop schedule. They print out the welcome package. They print out the Benjamin Franklin System Moral Perfection, Benjamin Franklin System of Time Management. They also print out the systems package. So they're printing all these things out. We okay? Do we need to stand up and stretch? Yes. All right, let's stand up and stretch. Everybody stand up, stretch up. Just stretch it out. Stretch it out. Now I'm going to do something a little unorthodox here. I want you to jump and just shout hallelujah. Okay, this is how there we go. Hallelujah! So everybody jump and yell hallelujah. Like it's okay. 1, 2, 3. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! All right. How do you feel? How do you feel now? You feel better? Good. All right. A bit more energy? A bit more energy? All right, let's continue then. All right, so let's continue. So again, with this, time frame 6 weeks out, you're also, the facilitators checking with the coordinator time and time again. Also, again, using Google Sheets to do this. And they check emails for new registrants. 5 weeks out. This is when they send an email to potential volunteers. Because you're going to need volunteers to help you out with this one. All right. And so attached to the bottom of this document is the email template that is a call for volunteers. So to find that, if you go to page actually, it's okay. It's a different attachment we'll send. Okay, so What the facilitator does is has to get the training, the participant package checklist or content list. If you go to the bottom of the document that you have open, at the bottom you'll see the participant package content list. And it'll list in there welcome package, HMT workshop schedule, the HMT assignment booklet, prayer mandates for leaders, prayer mandates for students. There are 2 different ones. And we'll go over that tomorrow. You have the system building package, time management system, and the moral maturity and self-control system, as I mentioned before. And that's what the facilitator wants to start working on and have ready 5 weeks out. Okay? All right, so now, what week are we on? What time frame are we on? I'm hearing low numbers. I'm hearing nice and loud. What number are we on? What time frame are we on?
5.
We're on 5. Great. So, send an email out to volunteers asking for their help. This can be former grads. This can be people that just want to help out. And so the facilitator has to develop their team for this. They get a volunteer of maybe 3, 4 people or 5 people. And from here, what they do is they schedule, who's on at this time, who's assisting the facilitator at this time. Like if you're speaking, if you're going to be hosting it, who's assisting you at that time? Helping mark, helping hand out assignments, administrating red dots, on site, helping people as well. And so the volunteers are basically assistant to the facilitators. Number 2, weekly participant registration update. Again, check with coordinator, use Google Sheets, check emails for new registrations. What time frame are we on now? We should be on 4 now. Time frame 4 weeks prior. Number 1, what are we doing? Monitoring emails. What are we monitoring? Sorry. What are we checking these emails for? Responses from who? Potential volunteers. Volunteers, correct. The maximum volunteer number varies according to location and size of the group. If you have 20 participants, you're not going to have 10 volunteers. You can, because some can take the night shift per se, or the late evening shift. So if you want 10, great. But you're not going to have like 20 volunteers. Especially if they haven't taken HMT. So have volunteers that have taken HMT before. So when you go home and you want to have an HMT, start off with people that either God's leading you to lead in terms of you want them a part of your team, or people that can take this on. We send out volunteer requests to our alumni, our grads, because they know the benefit of it and they want to give back. So this is an opportunity for them to give back by volunteering their time to help out. That's how I got involved with this more so. I took the training, Pastor Derek started mentoring me, and so I just wanted to be around the HMT as much as possible. So any HMT they had, I was that helping out. And because of that, I was in the environment long enough where I know every workshop like the back of my hand. It's about embodying that message. The next step is participant package prep. This is where you prepare the participant packages. So this includes printing all documents for the participant folders. You can also have miscellaneous printing, workshop schedule for facilitator, volunteers, and trainer, because not only the participants need the workshop schedule, so do you. You need to know what time to show up. You need to know what time to play the video. Volunteers need to know what time to show up. Participant certificates as well. That is also in your standard package, is the participant certificates. Is they get a certificate, you need to print this out and get it signed. We have it already signed online. And then any other printing necessities that you need. This is 4 weeks out, so this is a month out. Your facilitator, by 3 weeks out, should have all of this ready to go, so they're not scrambling last minute. And if there are any extra additions, you can just print one copy and you're good to go. Who here knows printers? You know printing places. You want to develop a good relationship. If you don't already have a good relationship with them, develop a good one. Because this is who you want to go to every time. So if you want to work out a deal with them where you get printing at a cheaper cost, but you commit to only going to them for your printing needs, maybe that works for you. So again, something to be aware of. Questions, comments, concerns? No? Okay. Pardon?
I have a question.
Yes, question of volunteers. Yes, microphone, thank you.
Yeah, for the volunteers, you said that they assist the facilitator?
Correct.
Okay. Can they, what's the limit of what they can do as far as assisting?
Okay, so the limitations are, well, they're not speaking in the workshops, that's for sure. Not even your facilitator or coordinator will speak the workshops unless they're a guest speaker. Okay? So, when it comes to the assistants, what we have them normally do is the assistants to the facilitator will introduce speakers, will introduce the next topic, will assist the speakers, bringing them water or coffee or tea. They will also be there to help the participants. Not answer their questions, but more so be there for moral support. They need prayer, for 5 minutes or a couple minutes. They can encourage the participants. So they're active in the participation of the actual training, but they're there mainly to help the facilitator. So whatever the facilitator needs help with, if it's marking, they help mark. Yes, there is a marking rubric. Yeah. And so you can give that to, your facilitator has to teach them how to mark though. And we have a marking scheme for that. So now we're at 3 weeks out. Number one, you want to set an email reminder. Again, if you don't have enough volunteer requests or volunteers, you can request for more. You can connect with volunteers who have not responded to the initial email you sent out. Number two, weekly participant, again, this is really redundant, but weekly participant registration update. Who do you check in with this? Correct. See how easy it becomes when you repeat things? Yep, also can be done through what tool online? Google Drive. Or they can check what? Email. That's right. So you're getting it. You now know something that you didn't know walking into this training, right? Now what you do is, or the facilitator has to begin assembly of student folders. So all the things they print off for the student package, that student package they give in a folder, they start to actually put those inside the folders themselves. Number 4, they confirm delivery of books to where the location of the training is to take place. So when we did a training in Texas, I went down there myself to do the training. And I brought somebody with me. However, our facilitator went and shipped a case of books down before I flew down. And made sure they arrived on time so that when we're there, we could have the books to use so they can read. So part of the facilitator's job is to make sure the books get to where they need to be in order for the training to run smoothly. You don't want it, the book showing up a day later. Okay. And so maybe the coordinator, the trainer, checks in and asks the facilitator, oh, how are the books? Maybe you as a trainer check. Again, you have this, so you can use this to ask your facilitator questions. Where are we with the books? Oh, I haven't ordered them yet. Why haven't you ordered them yet? Where are the books? They're on their way. They should arrive there a week before. I personally, again, you can write this down because this is really in your notes, is encourage your facilitator to have the books arrive at its destination a week before the training starts. A week before. This means the coordinator has to make sure that the books are ordered well beyond that, right? So the great thing about Amazon is you can order a book. I don't know how it is in different parts of Africa or Europe, but I know where I'm from is I can order a lot of books, and I can pay for them and have them show up at a different location. So I even have to have them shipped to me, and then I have to pay an extra shipping cost. If I'm going to Thunder Bay, and it was to fly over there, it's like a 2-hour flight, I make sure the books are shipped there so I don't have to do anything. Number 4, next number 5. Again, this can vary depending on your location, but obtain a prize or something to affirm the top student. What we used before was Pastor Derek's series on character development. It was called The Case for Character. I scored top student of my HMT in Canada, and I had that, and I used that, listened to it 4 to 7 times, and there was things I was able to see in myself and change. So make sure the prize is also, it's not like a cake or something, but it's something that can actually help develop the person beyond where they're at. So you may want to give them a book from Pastor Sunday or something, but that's what the prize is. Questions on that?
I have a question on books.
Of course.
In terms of the books now, they come a week before. Is that for them to read through, or it's just that you don't want them to not have books at the workshop?
That's just to make sure they have the books at the workshop on time. Again, you want to be prepared. So if there's a delay, at least you're prepared for that. Okay, so what time frame are we on now? 2 weeks. Number 1, who can read it? You might want to get a microphone for this, please.
Time frame 2 weeks prior to HMT. Number 1, create volunteer schedule. A, send email confirmation to all volunteers.
Okay. Stay standing, it's okay. I'm sorry, you can keep the mic on you. I want to know, do you guys know why, or sorry, not you guys, do you know why we create the volunteer schedule? Any ideas? Okay. The reason you create a volunteer schedule is to keep track of who's showing up when. So you don't have all your volunteers show up in the morning and then you don't have anybody at night, right? So see your volunteers as resources and manage your resources well so that you don't run out of resources in the afternoon and you don't have too many showing up at different times. So manage the resources you have. If people have work, if you have some people that don't work during the day or work the evening, have them show up in the morning. Vice versa, if you have people that work during the day and don't, then have them show up only in the evening. So schedule. Your facilitator has to create a schedule in order to maintain who's showing up when.
Number 2, send pre-training info to registered participants. Number 3, verify contents of training facilitator binder.
All right, so hold on right there. Number 2, pre-training info to registered participants. Who here, when you signed up for HMT1, did you get an email about what you would have to do? Just raise your hand, raise your hand. Okay, so that's your pre-training info. In that email, it says, this is where the training is held. This is homework you have. These are red dots. This is all the pre-training info that they need to have. So that's sent to them. And then you were saying...
Number 3, verified contents of training facilitator binder.
Yes. So the training facilitator binder. Now, I don't have one with me today, just because of things going on at home. But a binder that has all the content. And basically, it's the hard copies of the standard package you have online right now. It's a hard copy of everything you have online, everything you have on it as a soft e-version. It's a hard copy. And it's printed out and put in a binder for future reference. And that contains a workshop schedule. It contains, a copy of the system building package. It contains a copy of the homework booklet. It contains a copy of the assignments, of the welcome package. It's basically a template to work from. It's basically the standard package in a binder form, all right? So they just want to verify all of that inside the binder. Now, yeah.
Number 4, weekly participant registration update. Check with coordinator.
All right.
Okay. A, this can also be done through a shared online file, Google Drive spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
And B, check email for new registrant information.
Again, you can have people sign up last minute, like 2 weeks out from the training. And so you want to make sure you include them as well. Now your facilitator, all right? Any questions, concerns, comments, anything? Okay, time frame 1 week prior to HMT. Number 1, thank you, Efrain. Number 1, you do a final confirmation of registration numbers. Here, we've had people sign up day of, okay? And so your facilitator always wants to create that buffer where it's, I don't have enough training packages or student packages because this person signed up last minute. Well, make sure that your facilitator has printed off 5 more than what is needed. Just in case. Unless you're very, very sure that people are not going to show up. Or maybe you make it mandatory that they have to register by a certain day or they're not getting in. Like if you have 70 people that want to show up to the training, you just say, okay, the first 70 people, or the first 40 people or 35 people that sign up and register and pay by this date, this is the due date, this is the cutoff date. If the training's happening November 25th, the cutoff date is November 10th. Because we need to make sure we have everything. Then you'll have maximum 35 people, and you say to the other 35, we're going to have another HMT for you as well. And then you plan the next HMT for them. So 1 week prior, again, confirm registration numbers and confirm the HMT binder has all its necessary information. Any questions there? No? All right. So, Let's do a little testing. Okay? Because I have some time right now to do so. Everybody ready? So testing. Now, listen to just pay attention to what I'm saying. For the HMT coordinator, what happens 12 weeks prior to the HMT starts? You can use your notes. Now, I need you to stand up and tell me, and I want you to basically list everything that happens 12 weeks prior to HMT. For the coordinator, what happens?
Receives event information.
Mm-hmm.
Receive event detailed information from trainer within 3 days of establishing event date.
Great.
For HMT and date and location, HMT fee, host contact name and email.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, contacts HMT host organization within 1 week receiving event detailed information.
Mm-hmm.
Or confirms HMT date, responds to questions. C confirms method and amount of payment and how fees will be collected.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, emails registration from form and promotional package to host organization. Contacts work history makers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, confirms training equipment needs with host organization like microphone, chart paper, or anything else. Basically.
Okay, thank you very much. Irene, why do we send the host pastor the commercial?
Number one, to cross-promote HMA.
Oh, microphone.
So we send the commercial to the host organization in order to, one, promote the HMA, and number 2, to get people to register.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Now pass it to somebody that you think should answer another question. You got 3 seconds. All right, thank you. All right, now a question for you. Why is it important that the congregants get the flyer, the HMT standard flyer?
Without actually checking into when we read the notes, I would say it gives them more information about what it's all about. Because you did make mention that there could be a scenario where the host himself has never been to one before, so wouldn't really have much information about what it's all about. So I think it's more of about information given.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true. Also, it allows, as a marketing strategy, for them to see when they take it home, put it up on their fridge, or put it on their countertop, they can see it constantly. And the more they see something, the more they're inclined to sign up. So this is something, you'll need to tell the pastor. That's why I'm asking these questions now. Thank you. Now you can give the microphone to somebody who hasn't spoken yet. That's right. That's exactly who you give the thing to. All right. All right, so who, as a coordinator, right, who does the coordinator have to keep in touch with weekly and why?
Okay, the coordinator need to keep with the facilitator and the host of the event,
Mm-hmm.
because that make the work like very easy to them to know what is happening with the event, like what is going to happen, and have the schedule of the whole thing.
Okay, what else? They also have to keep in touch with the trainer.
Yeah, they also have to keep in touch with all the trainers there.
Good. Now, why is it important for them to keep in touch with the host or pastor?
Yeah, because you cannot go and like train others if you don't have the general schedule of what is going to happen. So each and everyone needs to be in touch to know, to have a program to what is going to be done during the event.
Yes, that's true. But also the reason why is because you want to serve, you want to be able to support the pastor in his efforts to increase the number of registrations. So you want to ask them, how can I support you this week? Is there more information that you need? You might want to write this down. Do you need a personalized video from our pastor or trainer encouraging people to come? That's another one. So now you can give that to somebody who hasn't spoken. Everybody's going to speak, by the way, so you might as well get the mic now. All right. Name two ways that the facilitator can find out about registrations.
Okay, via email, as
Correct.
well as you could also do Google Sheet to upload if there's any information, since it's actually available for anybody to access to see if there are new registrations or any other information that is necessary.
Perfect. Thank you. Now you get to pass that off to somebody else. All right. Name three things that are in the student package.
In the student package, I think they can be
So as a facilitator, when they're preparing the student package, what are three documents that are in that package? So of course, yeah, listen, of course you forgot. You just learned it
The
now.
welcome package.
Pardon?
Welcome.
Welcome package, great, yes. What else?
The assignment, HMT assignment booklet,
Great, okay.
and then the schedule.
All right, thank you, Ephraim, for helping.
I wanted to give him
I know,
thank
I
you, Mr. Ephraim.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's exactly how you should be working. Now you can pass that on to somebody else. As facilitator, what is the main book they need to get for HMT and how do they get it?
Through Amazon,
But what book did they get through Amazon?
Dr. Derek's book.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
With him from
Since when did he become a doctor? I know he will in time, but that's news to me.
Beyond Four Walls
Ah, Beyond the Four Walls by who?
by Derek Schneider.
All right. It's very key you type that into Amazon because I don't know who Dr. Derek Schneider is. And he could be a doctor of all kinds of things and I wouldn't know. So anyway, again, thank you. That's great. That's great. Now, a bonus question is, what's the ideal timeline that you want to make sure those books have been ordered?
They should get to the place.
Be careful. Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. What is the ideal timeline in which they should be ordered?
1 month.
What does it say?
I know they should get to destination by 1 week. 3 hours.
Yes, that's great. But how can they get to the destination if they're not ordered?
It should be ordered. I don't know.
You do know. It's right there in front of you. You got it. That's correct. 6 weeks prior. Great.
A month and a half.
Month and a half. Now you can give the microphone to somebody else. I think she's more for your support, so I think she can give it to, yes. My sleepy brother. Okay, here's it. Ready? The student package as a facilitator. What are the other? So she mentioned 3 of them. What are the rest?
Oh, okay. There are 2 materials. I think one is the moral, the schedule is there.
Yeah.
The assignment package, the welcome,
Mm-hmm.
the prayer mandates.
Yes.
2
2 prayer mandates.
prayer mandates.
One is, they're the exact same thing. One is for leaders and one is for the students.
Students, right? And then the book by Benjamin Franklin.
There is a worksheet. There's time management and moral perfection. Both are, linked to Ben Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's it.
That's good. Great. Who has not spoken? Who? All right. Any questions? Any questions? Yes.
In terms of the books now, are they included in the package that you or the order?
So in terms of the books, I wanted to know if they are included in the price or they pay additional.
Yes. That's a great question. She asked, for those who may have not heard, are the books included in the package price? Basically, are they included in the registration costs? That, again, is up to the trainer. Include them. I say you do include them. Okay? Include them into the package. So what you want to do is, if you're ordering 20 books, each book is like $20 on Amazon. How much does that work out to, Efrain? 400? And let's say shipping is an additional 100. So you divide 500 by 20 people so you make sure that there's an additional $25 to the registration fee. Because they're paying for the books. You're not paying for the books. They are. Any more questions? Yes. You want the mic and you want to stand. All right.
For the books they're supposed to read,
Mhm.
that the assignments are supposed to come off of, is that part of the registration package, fee that they paid, or do they have to order for those books? Like if they have to read a book a day, for instance.
Mm.
So if you're doing like 5 days or 4 days, then you're thinking 4 books per participant.
Mm.
Is that part of the registration, or are they going to order that separately?
Okay, so when it comes to a book a day, for the training itself, it's only going to be a 3.5 day training max. 3.5 day training. And it's only 1 book you order for that training to be on the 4 walls. But maybe I'm not hearing you correctly.
Yeah, because when we had the last one in April, we read a book a day.
Yes, you read a book a day, that's
Yes.
correct. And that book was one of Pastor Sunday's books, correct?
That's correct.
And the book was about 116 pages average length, right? Maybe 100 and
Some of them 200, 300.
some 200.
Yeah.
Now, maybe those were the newer books, but the books
Yes.
I read when I was here were about 100. Even in Canada, were about 116. Those were his old books, but way back then. But again, for the HMT one, the main book you're reading is just the one book with Pastor Derek's. That book is about 307 pages. So you have to read, we've worked out the math to be about, they have to read 70 some odd pages a day. So 70 some odd pages a day.
Okay, so the one that we did is HMT2. That's, you have to do 2 books a day, a book a day, and then you have to do the review the following day, and then do some assignments over it.
I'm not sure what you did.
That's what
no.
we did, right?
I'm not quite sure as to what she did.
Yeah, she almost killed us.
Was that, I don't know. See, if that's HMT2, that's HMT2. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, we did a book a day, and we did a book review in the evenings.
So is that, Bebo, is that HMT2? Oh, okay, great. That's HMT2.
On top of
You're not doing HMT. You're not training HMT2. This is just one.
HMT1. Okay.
This is
And
just
that's
one.
just one book.
That's just one book for
the 3 days.
for 3 days.
And the assignments come from that particular book.
No assignments come from that.
No, okay, the assignments are totally different.
Assignments are just based on the workshops.
Okay.
The book review is an oral presentation.
Okay.
Is
And
US
that's done on the last day of the event? Or
That's every day.
every day.
So I'll get into that. We'll get into that. And I could probably start facilitating in terms of the next topic. So I'll do a bit of what I'm supposed to do tomorrow, today, because of the time factor. That being said, I'm do it for 5 minutes. So when it comes to the book review, what you do is you have them stand up. Let everybody stand up. Okay, did you read the book? Yes. What did you get from the book? They tell? Okay, sit down. What did you get from the book? They give their share, they sit down. Everybody shares what they learned from the book. It may be similar, it may be different. They must share something to prove they read the book, and they sit down. That's the only thing we do with the book to prove that they read it. Does that make sense?
So, do you allot a particular number of chapters for each day, or
Pages.
just read pages?
Pages.
So pages 1 to 20.
Pages 1 to 70 on the first day.
Okay.
Pages 70 to 150 on the second day. And pages 150 to the close on the third day. And each book has to be, each section has to be read by 7 p.m. that day. But we'll get into that tomorrow more so.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions on the coordinator even, or the facilitator's roles pre-training? Now that was pre-training. We haven't gone into training yet. That's a whole nother ballgame. Yes.
You were talking about the finance and the fee.
Yes, the finance and fee.
Okay, okay, I know you can put up the amount you think is reasonable, but then you find that sometimes some people might not want to pay a certain fee or so. How do you try, they think that maybe you are duping them or something? I'm sure you also came, it's very common. So how do I try to convince people that it's worth the price they are paying for?
You go in and preach. You preach on the price of leadership. You preach on the price of destiny, maybe. Or you get somebody else to preach on that. But that's something you do to boost registrations. You go preach on it and say, this is the training and equipping model we are adding to the church. This is the testimonies we have in Ukraine, in Africa, in Namibia, in wherever. You mean you're in Namibia. So there is somebody in Namibia, you have a resource. What part of Namibia are you from?
I'm from the northern part.
Northern part, which is that?
Ondangwa.
Okay, so again, there are people in Windhoek that you can get in touch with.
Oh, yes.
And so you have resources there. You can get the pastor from there and his leaders to come speak to people that you have. And they can preach on it and say exactly, because we took the training, HMT level 1 and 2, this is our results. And then from there, you can have them travel. This is the great thing. This is what we're doing. We're having it so that our people over there in Namibia can travel to the different countries, can travel to northern Namibia and speak. If you need people in Nigeria, if you need people over in Zimbabwe, we have people that can make the trip over and hold this to help you as a resource. So if you're worried about people being duped, you just take my money and run off. No. This is what we're doing. We have a date, we have a location, we have a venue. Show up. All right. Does that answer your question though? Okay, great. Yes.
So when you go to a country like Namibia, what's usually the fees? Because I'm figuring if we're going to charge them $395, it's going to be a substantial amount of money.
It is. $395 is 16 to 1. So I know it's 16 Namibian dollars to 1 US. And so it works out. She's doing the math right now. So this is what we do in Namibia. Our norm in Namibia is that we go and host the trainings, and the pastor pays, and the church, I should say, pays one flat fee. The church pays one flat fee
For all the participants.
for all the participants,
So,
and in U.S. dollars, or in whatever. If you're in Namibia and you charge Namibian dollars, that's fine. But again, the pastor pays one flat fee. So if you want to go to certain places that they can't afford it, where you charge one flat fee that they can't afford, that the church can help subsidize.
so but basically the fee has to be able to augment the transportation costs of flying
That's right.
in total.
So they cover transportation, flights if you have to fly. But if you're in America, we have people over there. I wouldn't recommend that unless you're overdoing work. Where do you do work in Africa?
Nigeria.
Okay. So if you're in Nigeria, but we have people in Nigeria, does it really make sense for you to go there
To do one.
to do a thing? Or do you take this training, and where are you in the States?
I'm in Maryland.
Or you do one in Maryland because we don't have anybody in Maryland. So you start hitting Maryland, you hit that ground running. This is what we're doing going global is, okay, you can go do work in Nigeria. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying what would be more feasible with your time and energy and resources to hit the ground where you're at. And we have U.S. resources we can send over to you. Right? And so, again, something to think about. Questions?
Thank you.
Comments? You're welcome. Anybody have any other questions about the dynamics? Or yes, we have another question over here.
It's relating to what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So are you looking, well, I'm not going to say you're looking, but if, like, I'm in California.
You're in California, great. Which part of Cali?
Northern California.
Which?
Sacramento.
Sacramento, okay.
Yeah. So are you saying that if we want to do another country, but we live in another place, we should focus where we are, then take off and go to another country?
Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing this.
That's what.
That's what we're doing this, yeah. Now, do you plan to move to another country we want to do this?
Yes,
Okay, so which country are we talking about?
Nigeria.
Okay, so you want to do this in Nigeria?
No, I actually want to start in California.
Oh, so start in California.
Yeah.
So again, right, so start where you are. That's why we're training people from all, because you're coming from Finland. You're not trying to travel to Australia to implement this, right? No, you're going to do it where you're at home and you have your home base and you have your resources. And so you're doing California. I'm telling you, I was just in California. They need it.
Yes,
The Bay Area, Sacramento, Oakland. Oakland needs it. Because I know secular organizations that are going and helping children at-risk youth and making a difference. And I'm like, we need history makers in California. In LA, we need it. So, and I know of even Ukrainian grads that are in LA right now that you can be connected with and ask them, that have literally facilitated HMTs before. That you could all call up and be like, what are your views on this? So again, all you have to do is ask. If you don't know or if you don't have, it's because you haven't asked. So that's why I'm saying ask your questions now, because you're going to get information that you didn't even think of. So because she asked that question, now she knows she has a link in California who's done this. And she's one of the facilities. Who knows Dasha? Dasha Kurtik. She's in LA right now. Right, and she facilitated these trainings before here. She facilitated my training when I was here. Incredible facilitator. Dasha, yeah. You can get it from him after. Any other questions? Any other questions? Concerns, maybe. Things you just think of, any problems you can foresee. Yes. Yes. You want to stand up? Microphone, please. Thank you.
When something goes terribly wrong.
Like what? Like what?
Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to see, as in, okay, you've done everything you can to ensure that everything works properly. So the coordinator's done their role, the facilitators done their role, but now it comes to the delivery itself, then something goes wrong. I don't know. I'm just, whether you've encountered something like that. So the unforeseeable, and how did you address that situation?
So potential pitfalls.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so I had one issue. I was in Texas, and I was, who knows the Wailing Women? Anybody here know the Wailing Women? Yeah, so we had the Wailing Women down in Texas, and there's about 50 of them that I was training. And I was playing the DVDs. One of the workshops didn't work on the DVD, right? But because I knew, and again, this goes back to embodying the message. These DVDs you watch, I highly suggest I want to make it a demand. You have to watch these DVDs 4 to 7 times. You have to absorb it, eat it every day. Embody it. Because I embodied it, I was able to shut off the computer and be like, all right, well, I'm just going to teach this. And so being able to teach the material, that's why we're giving you the notes, just in case something happens with the electronics. But a great way to avoid having potential pitfalls and everything is, basically sitting down and brainstorming all the possible problems that could happen, and then writing solutions for it, preparing for it. So what if a DVD doesn't work? Okay, well, I'm going to test, when I get the DVDs, I'm going to test each and every one of them. One, because I need to study it for myself. And if you find that there's a problem, immediately contact us. This CD doesn't work. I need a new one. And we send you a new one. Problem solved. Test it out. So last night, I wanted to go to sleep. Okay, but I'm like, no, I'm going to stay up. I'm going to test this out with Sasha to make sure our DVDs work, so that when it's time to play it, we don't have problems. Okay? Yes.
I want to find out throughout your teaching process, have you ever encountered, let's say, any political interference in a negative way? For instance, I come from Cameroon, and the plan I had was, I'm going to actually start implementing this back home. But looking at the political atmosphere back home right now, it's very, very unstable. And consider gatherings like this to be of a negative impact, like a grooming ground for calls or something. The government is actually afraid of people coming together to discuss matters because they think it's going to nurse some sort of hatred against them. So in the case of such suspicion, I want to know if there is anything to fall back to.
Yeah,
in relation to
there is one that comes to me is truth, which is transparency. You can give this to your leaders. You can show them your system that you're working with. You can give them the system package of how to rebuild Cameroon. Nothing in this is negative. It's all meant to elevate society. Even society that rejects Christ. Just because they reject him doesn't mean they shouldn't be held by standards to live according to his word, to love each other as Christ loved us, to love each other as we love ourselves. Love God, love people. So if you can present this in a way saying, hey, I'm going to you, government, we're having a training about how we can come together and support you. How can we support? This is the verbal words you have to use for this are very key. How we can support you. Because here's how you support it. Because here in Ukraine, they have it. They have stats and financial projections, and not even financial projections, they can actively show. Here are the stats. And what government doesn't want? Because the government is no longer solving the problem. It's saying, no, we're responsible to solve this problem we have in our community. We're not gathering here to go against you. We're gathering here to support and to help our community be rehabilitated so we can take the pressure off of you. So again, we're here to support you. All right? So again, it's just a way of thinking. And if they don't like it, then you do it somewhere else. You gather people somewhere else. I don't know. I'm from Canada, so I don't have that concept is foreign to me. So again, I don't want to come off where it's like this North American guy's telling you how to live when I've never experienced any of that, turmoil before. I have no idea. I have no idea at all. However, I do understand truth in some human behavior. So again, truth is objective. All right? Truth is absolute. Pastor Sunday's been speaking on truth for a long time. Okay, so we're going to take a break. Kind of gone over time. Come back. Yeah, it's going on 4 now. Come back at 4:03. 4:03. Yes.